Well, we're still waiting on Smash Master. Yeah, he's logging on now. I think I tagged his phone. I saw him check it on his phone, and he's now online properly. So it's quite early morning for him because he's in the States, I believe.
Oh, damn.
EDT is currently 8 p.m. I think.
I can check it.
9.
Yeah.
Please, microphone, don't do this to me. Be good. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Smash.
Quick question: will we be doing the sheets in? Or...
I need to give you a character sheet. I need to invite you to the game. I need to do a few things.
You haven't even invited her to the game. Come on.
I'll be honest, you've set a record for join speed by about 5,000%.
Well, I did kind of just spam the reload because oh shit, it's starting in literally 1 minute. If they're going to send it, it's probably now.
Don't worry, it's just session 0.
It is. Did I hear you, Smash? You there?
Yep.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome everyone. I'm just going to give Harpy a character sheet quickly. I will say, character building is less a focus of this session, as the other three have kind of experienced. There's a lot of one-on-one for character building here, so we can go over some of it, like basic character creation stuff. I'm sure will come up. But at some point over the next couple of days, or even after session today, it'd be great if we could have a one-on-one to kind of go over stuff.
All right.
You have Yujia Yiwahali'im.
Yeah. I'm just going to change it.
Yeah. Roll 20.
I called mine work in progress because I couldn't stand the name.
Yeah, the names are just. I believe they're just trying to. Oh, hey, a quick name if they don't already have one.
I think they throw random letters.
That's probably a good chance as well. Yeah.
So everybody, welcome. How are we all doing today?
I'm currently chilling. I basically worked all week, so I'm totally fine and relaxing.
I'm
Just
waking
woke
up.
up, so
Yeah, same.
just woke up, so still getting into it.
Just been relaxing for a couple hours, weekend, all that.
I set an alarm to kind of give myself a half an hour warning for this session, and I ended up setting my alarm for 11:30, not 1:30. So I had coffee, water, and everything ready, and now they're just sat empty on my desk. It's quite sad.
Rip.
Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is a session 0, so it will be it's always going to be a little bit scuffed, but there is a basic order of events I'd like to go through and cover. starting with simple introductions. Now, because we have Harpy, I'll actually need to introduce myself properly. I hadn't expected to, which is great.
Mm.
But hi, guys. I am Coco, Connell, Kokuba, DM. Honestly, whatever you want to call me, as long as it's not rude and unjustified. But I will be the DM and author of this session. I have been a professional DM, technically, for about 3.5 years now. Casual DM for about 4, and D&D player for, I think it's nearly 12 years now, starting 3.5 edition.
Damn.
Wow.
I am I call myself a failed psychologist, now retraining in history. Flavian had a full-on intro to that 2 days ago. Good conversation we had.
You've definitely chosen the right path, I will say.
It's fascinating. But my historical focus is late Edo period Japan. For those of you unfamiliar, that is roughly 1850 to 1880.
Mm-hmm.
And for the time being, that is me. So, shall we go down the Discord order, starting then with Baka, if you'd please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Baka. I'm from Slovenia. I've been playing D&D for about 2 years now. I finally gathered up my courage to do it and never looked back. I've been playing with Coco for about a year now as well, under a different DM. And then it just naturally came that I started playing with him as my DM as well. I live in Slovenia, and I'm a nerd. Yeah.
Like the most of us, you are one of us. Makes sense.
I'll be playing Miko. So Mayumi Tachibana, or Yumi for short.
Okay.
Basically, I'm a mix of Kagome and Kikyo from Inuyasha.
Nice.
Hopefully.
Some people will not get that reference.
I unfortunately have not seen Inuyasha, so that just right
Don't
over
worry.
my head.
Don't worry about it.
It was one of my favorite animes when it was on TV. So I always fondly remember it, and even still watch scenes or clips on YouTube every now and then, and reread the manga every now and then.
Damn, quite the fan.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Cool.
Flavian, would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Well, my name is Flavian. Not my real name, but considering I'm Italian, I prefer this one whenever I go on the web. And I am basically currently studying to become a language historian. And as Coco said, we both had an experience talking about it with each others. And I'm also kind of I wouldn't call myself an expert, but an enthusiast about Japan as a whole, especially when it comes to the Sengoku period and whatever is in the Sengoku period. So this is the reason why I joined the game.
Same.
I'm hoping to have a great time with all of you, and I am probably going to get smashed in the face and cut a lot because I am going to play a physical class. Still undecided, probably a barbarian, probably a fighter, but I will try to shield you all as best as I can while probably not dying. We'll see.
Just like a good meat shield.
Yep.
Okay. Hello, I'm Harpy. Not the real name, just yeah. I'm Norwegian. currently studying IT. Note I am a feminine. Yeah. I'm going to be playing a lizard folk monk, so let's hope I don't do that badly. I know people call it bad, but I just like the kind of class. Fun to just punch stuff.
I've
You're,
actually,
you're
I've
totally
actually-
fine.
yeah, I've played a lizard folk monk before. Actually, it can be pretty darn good.
Yeah. It's not the classic lizard folk I'm going to be, since I'm basing it kind of a pangolin. I actually already have the art. Been playing D&D for around 2 years, though this will be my first home game.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
Alright.
that leaves you, Smash.
Yep. All right. Yep. Go by Smash on here. Real name Logan, if you want to go by that.
Nice to meet you.
Uh, Thank you.
Hello.
And I've been playing D&D for like maybe 5 or 6 years by now. Pretty much a mix of some official, mostly homebrew. Spend a bit of time at DM as well. I am currently working on my associates for just general arts. Nothing specific at the moment.
Ooh.
For this game, I am being about playing a fallen ASMR sorcerer.
Nice.
Yep. It's gonna be lots of damaging spells, especially with the kind of subclass me and Coco worked with. So it's expect a lot of big damage coming around from me if I can stay
I
alive.
will do my best to die in your stead. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Suppose I overlooked. I will be playing everything that you guys aren't.
Oh, wow. That's a really deep and complex choice that you have made about your class or classes or whatever.
Yeah. Wow. Very.
He's gonna be playing all the bodies we're gonna be knocking down.
Let the
Or
bodies hit the
ghosts that are
floor.
going to hunt us.
Before we go any further, just want to do a quick tech check. Everybody's mic and headset seems, or whatever you're using, seems to be working fine. How are people with Roll20?
My roll 20 is going fine.
Mine too.
Yeah, working good for me.
Mine's doing as it usually is, so all good.
I meant more if people were comfortable with Roll20, but as long as it's working, that is a question that should be asked.
I knew what you were asking.
No, I'm sorry. I'd like to use a random text site instead. I only enjoy that. I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm totally fine with Roll20 or whatever you guys want to use as a platform,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, I'm experienced now with Roll20. I have no problem using it.
I'm used to like just doing whatever because of my usual play.
Okay, cool. Well, if you ever need a hand with anything, don't feel shy about speaking up. I have some things that I'm not too good with, but Roll20 I've kind of cobbled together a competence with.
Nice.
All right. I'm just, for the sake of testing it, I'm going to bring in the music bot for a moment. And you may want to adjust your volume.
Okay.
Sure. Done.
Mhm.
Yep, didn't need to lower it, but sounds good.
I usually have music bots muted and stuff, so
Gotta say, this is the first time I'm in a voice channel where I didn't have to regulate everyone's voices. So that's a plus.
Yeah, just fair warning, having a bit of a cough, so might mute myself.
That's fine.
By the way, if you guys hear me either too loud or too down, let me know because it's my microphone being a dick.
Will do.
Cool. All right.
Cool. The next order of business, I just want to get this out of the way. I believe everybody has noted, but this is a paid game.
Yep.
And I would ask, as a matter of just standard, my mic cut out, didn't it?
A little
Yeah.
bit.
I could hear you fine.
Oh, okay.
There
It started being
was
weird.
there were some parts that I didn't.
Okay, I'd ask as a matter of standard, any payments, please, after a session, before the next. If you're having any trouble in any way, please just message me. My DMs are open all the time, and I will generally reply at demon hours or good hours. That being said, session 0 and all setup are not charged in any way. So please don't send me anything until we've had a session 1.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the unpleasant part out of the way. Okay, the kind of main part of this session 0 will be kind of setting discussion, player discussion, behavioral discussion, kind of setting ground rules, and talking about preferences and stuff like that. My general rule as a DM for players is I'd ask you all to please be respectful of everybody else, and kind of that goes to the whole, we're going to talk over each other. This is an online voice chat system. We can't see body language. So yeah, we will talk over each other. Kind of, we need to all understand that's going to happen and kind of just be aware of everybody else. That is as much on me to kind of make sure that nobody goes kind of run over and everybody has a chance to speak and get their input in. But I just ask that everybody be aware of everybody else. And that goes to preferences, likes, dislikes, phobias, things like that. If there's something people just don't like or don't enjoy, this is a role-playing game. Emphasis the game. We're all here to have a good time. And if something is going to change it from being a good time, let's not do that.
Very well.
With that in mind, if anybody does have a problem with anything, you're welcome to bring that up in the group, or if you're more comfortable, you're welcome to send me a private message and we can have a talk either via text or via voice at some point less obtrusive. And I will do what I have to get your problem fixed. On that topic, does anybody have anything in terms of player or DM behavior you'd like to kind of bring up at this point?
I'm good.
I'm fine.
Good.
No, yeah, I'm fine.
I will try my absolute best not to make bad jokes. That is my promise.
I mean,
I
you're welcome.
kinda-
You're welcome to it.
Yeah, and I kind of think you've already kind of broken that already by now, so
Probably have, didn't notice, didn't care. I'm sorry I didn't care. But no, actually, I will try to be as respectful as possible.
Harpy, I don't think I've heard your voice on that. You alright, or is there something you want to bring up?
Yeah, everything's alright. Yeah.
Okay. On a similar topic, this is a weekly game. I'm intending it to run for about 4 hours plus a 15-minute break. People need more breaks, then people may need more breaks. That's fine. But in terms of absences, my personal rule is 3+ players we run. Any less than that, we probably shouldn't. Does anybody want to raise that cap to 4 or something, or suggest any other rule, or is everybody all right with 3+?
I'm fine with it.
3+ is
Usually
okay.
Yeah, usually the standard I see with this amount of players.
I'm totally fine with that. I mean, as long as the missing player is fine with having their character being used by the GM, I'm totally fine with it.
That's a good point.
Either that or they like fade out of existence, because I've seen that with games too if a player's missing.
Yeah, but it kind of creates problem narratively speaking. So maybe have them in the background or something along those lines. I think that would be for the better.
Well, that is a question to raise. Will people be happy to have me play their character in as close a way as I can to imitating how you've played a character?
I'm fine with that.
I'm fine.
Yep, no problem with it.
Okay. If your character is like logically off in another town or something, the party's been split, then I'm not going to do so because your character isn't there. I'll also not typically play that character in roleplay scenarios, purely in combat, because I'm not you.
Yeah, as I said, just have it in the background and not really participating as one of the main basically never putting it under the spotlight. Is what I'm saying.
Yep, fair enough. In terms of absences, though, my request to you guys, and what I'll give you in return, is if you can give at least 24 hours warning, just so we know kind of the day before how many people we're going to have and how many we're not, that would be very appreciated. I will do the same. If I get run over by a car or my bus crashes or something like that, I'm sorry, that is outside of my control. And expect the same of you guys.
I will do my absolute best to avenge you in that case.
Oh, I feel sorry for the bus.
Anything else?
Kind of the last thing to bring up is disagreements with me and kind of rules questions and things like that. I'm completely open to them, and I certainly don't always get it right. I'm fairly solid on the rules and most common rulings, and I do try and run rules as intended, which tends to mean rules as written in most cases. There are quite a few changes to that in this setting. Happy, you might want to look at the handouts at some point over the next week. But if you have something you want to discuss and it's going to take a minute or two, brilliant. Please just bring it up. If it's going to take more than that, then please let the session play out and then raise it with me outside of session. It may result in a retcon here or there, or a change going forward. But I will do my best to get such issues sorted, just without kind of causing real disruption in the flow of play. Is everybody all right with that?
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with that, yes.
I am.
Okay. Well, that's kind of like player behavior. My next topic is character behavior, but does anybody want to segue here or bring something else up?
I mean, I don't know exactly what you mean, so feel free.
Okay, so basically in-character behaviors. Is there anything that is taboo to people? Anything that we want to encourage?
Got it.
So, like, the most cliche one is swearing. We're all adults, I think, but we are also all adults. So that means if we have things we don't like, that's completely fine. So are there phrases, words, things that people just don't like?
I can give you my idea if you want me to.
Go ahead.
When it comes to me, it's a simple rule, which is I'm an adult. I can take whatever it is. Just don't be weird about it, because then I may have a problem with it. I'm fine with most things, but don't be weird about it. That's all. Just my general rule.
Yeah, like in character, I'm fine with like almost everything. Just racial profiling and such, the N-word and stuff like that, I'm against. But in character, it's okay to be like racist if it's something in character.
I would probably
Makes sense.
be against racism in character as well, but yeah, what he said.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. I don't really have any kind of specific problem. Yeah, but yeah, pretty much like Flavian. Just don't be weird about it, like making it an issue or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right, or like just getting kind of all obsessed about it or something, like stuff like that.
Basically, as long as it doesn't feel weird, as long as it's something that is basically helps to get an idea of the setting or anything of those kinds of things, and it's not up in your face, I've got no problems about it. But considering both RP and Princess are against raisins and the kind of things like that, I'm totally fine with that too. You don't need those things to make a good
I mean,
game. So.
in character, I would be, and out of character, I'm against racism, but I mean, I get that it's a
of course.
game. I get it's a game that it happens. Just her character, my character is not gonna be happy about it.
I agree 100%. Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, probably should mention that this is a Japan-ish inspired setting. Japan is reasonably well known for being xenophobic, and that is today. The opinion on foreigners in particular will not be particularly good, but that doesn't need to come up or be focused on that much, if at all. The world is violent, and there are physical differences between races and lineages. But I will kind of avoid having any real focus on it. Kind of the most extreme thing you'll probably hear from me is I like using tieflings as examples because they're great. But a tiefling might be called a devilborn or a horned one or something like that. That's about the limit you'll hear from me.
Yeah, superficial things, basically, with
Yeah.
culture and stuff. Makes sense.
Fantasy racism is okay, IRL racism not.
Mao, I think, is demon in Japanese.
Mao is demon lord or evil lord.
Mm.
It's okay, Coco. We will do our best to teach democracy to feudal Japan.
You may be 250 years early, but hey. Actually, on the topic of racism and stuff, topics like slavery will probably have a similar treatment from me. They will exist. It'll kind of be dealt with on a surface level rather than the real cruelty involved. Because, like I said earlier, it's a game. We don't need horror. Well, we don't need real world horror in our role playing game.
Yep.
The more extreme stuff I call black taboo, torture, sexual violence, etc. These things happen in the real world, and perhaps they happen in this one, but I'm not going into detail on that.
Obviously.
You will never find an NPC that I write that dwells on these things. If they have had any impact, it will be a motivation for revenge or to protect, but it will never be described in detail.
Yeah, backstory stuff.
Yeah, backstory and fade to back and stuff.
Yeah. However, on the nicer side of things,
Mhm.
how do people feel on the topic of romancing NPCs or the players, sexual conversations? I'm not describing the intimates, but I might do a Matthew Mercer and make you roll a con save.
You want me to give you the serious answer or the joke?
The serious one, we can hear the joke later.
Okay. Serious answer. If my character does, in some way, shape, or form, develop an actual relationship, which means I somehow interact with the character enough, I'm not just saying players, but NPCs too, and there may be some way to involve ourselves in romantic stuff, it may happen, and I like it. That's it.
Same.
I'm completely fine with it, just as long as it's fade to black.
Oh yeah, please, God, no, yeah, Fade to Black, also that too.
Hey, I happen to have an amateur porn author who
No,
Please, no.
I had him in one of my games before and discovered this.
Coco, I will pay the track driver.
Okay.
So
rolling with how things go, we're not really expecting anything either way.
Yeah.
I mean,
my
if
idea is
it happens.
my idea is not directly pursuing romance, but if it happens in the game, I am totally up for it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
All right.
same.
Cool. All right. That was pretty painless and simple. Kind of moving on then to gameplay stuff. Baka's played with me as a DM before. The rest of you have not, so I should say this. I am typically a narrator and arbiter. Generally speaking, I'm known as a combat DM. Be warned. Apparently, Roll20 like my money, so it makes me crit a lot. That being said,
Okay.
that is
That's
my
good to know.
that is my gameplay style in module games. In
Hasn't
homebrew,
killed
I
one
do
of my characters yet, so
no, and I'd argue I didn't kill anybody in Lost Mines. Somebody killed themselves to wolves. But yeah, that's my style in modules typically. I lean more into roleplay in homebrew, where the world is kind of one I've created either myself or with the players, and it's a bit more comfortable. But in terms of interacting with you guys, if you want to, whatever topic you want to focus on, that's on you. If you stick or you kind of start to quagmire a topic, then I might give you a gentle kick up the ass. Otherwise, my involvement will be pretty low. Similar thing to agency. That's yours. This setting is designed to kind of empower your agency. Like the first couple of sessions will probably be railroady because that's the prologue. It is a closed circle to introducers, but after that, whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go, that's yours.
In that regard, unless everyone else has any problems about it, I'm totally fine with the first few sessions being railroady because I believe that prologues and stuff like that are supposed to give you an initial direction as a party. So I'm 100% okay with that.
Mhm.
Totally fine with like a few sessions just being a little railroady to
Mhm.
set the tracks.
Yeah, I do think that's necessary when starting in, especially in a homebrew setting.
Mhm.
Okay. This agency kind of goes a bit further as well. I will kind of tend to narrate stuff, particularly in combat and how roleplay plays out, but if you'd rather narrate that yourself, brilliant. Tell me and I will zip my mouth.
I kind of want to say something about that. Please don't hate me, for being a swordsmanship nerd, I may or may not describe the slashes that my character does with whatever
Oh
weapon
no,
he has.
that's very welcome. Like in
I will
character
not-
role playing, the fight scenes, that's amazing. I love
Just
it.
to be clear, I will not get too deep into it. Just I am a nerd for that stuff, so I'm apologizing in advance.
No need for apologies to me.
I suppose I'll need to double that as well. I tend to do that with either with like physical fighting or with magic too. So please do stop me if I keep going on for a little bit, because sometimes I can get a little carried away with this.
You are my sorcerer. I expect you to blow things up with enough flavor to make me melt. Please do.
Bromance.
Yes.
Just promise you're not going to spend like 5 minutes narrating a single sword slash.
I will not. I promise you that I will not.
That is all.
Oh. Oh yeah, I will go that far.
No. Just, no, on a more serious note, no, it's basically just I enjoy a bit of thematic and how is it called? Mental combat, that kind of stuff. A bit of that. That's all. So I like describing that kind of thing. Not going too deep, but basically, I don't enjoy combat being like I attack that, I roll, that's over. I don't like that. That's all.
That's fine. You might encounter that from me in the case of if you're being swarmed by like 10 Towns Guard. I'm not going to describe each individual stab,
Yeah, obviously.
but if you end up going like mano a mano with like a feudal lord or something and you're having a contest of skill,
Mm-hmm.
you're getting descriptions of how he cuts your guts open. Or she. There is a she.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is if we are in a combat encounter that's more narrative than anything else, I may add a little flavor to it. If we are just fighting an horde and just a combat encounter that is not relevant, roleplay wise, I won't do that stuff. That's all.
Hey, that makes sense to me. If you've seen like treaties on horde, like large scale battles, you don't have time for fancy techniques or
Definitely not. You do not.
it's like I hack. That it? That's all I have time for. Yeah. On combat topic, I should say this now. I will not try and kill you. I'm not going to pull the punches, and honestly, I am pretty good at balancing encounters. That's one of the perks to being a combat DM. So I'm not going to typically put you up against anything unreasonable without a way out either. That said, if you go out of your way to die, then you will probably succeed.
I guess I should also mention I may be among the melee characters, but I will state this as a player, I never roleplayed much with fighters, rangers, rogues, the kind of stuff like that. So I will not be a moron running ahead, expecting to shield everything. No, just giving that warning to the other players to make sure they know.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna play like that.
Yeah, it's very reasonable.
I'm saying this as a premise because I know some people tend to do that. So just making that clear.
I think we've already got 2 healers on deck now, so yeah, I think we're gonna be good with that.
Oh,
Healer. Healer, yeah,
healers.
Yeah, you'll sometimes encounter mindless beasts, but you might also encounter a group of well-trained samurai who will strategically try and pull you apart.
It's okay, guys. I expected to die first session in. Don't worry.
I can no longer say I've never had a first session death.
Wow, cool.
Lost
That is
minds.
actually surprising.
Oh, I can no longer say I've never had a first session death. It took me nearly 4 years of DMing.
Nice.
Ah, there we go.
But yeah, some fights will be just difficult for you, and it may be that you need to, as a group, find a different way to manage the situation.
Mhm.
Or just run away.
Yeah.
That is a different way.
What I was gonna say, run away.
I
don't
will
think that's
put
most D&D
you.
players' vocabulary.
I will literally grab all of you, put them on my shoulders, and run away. Maybe not RP. RP can probably run away on her own, but I will grab all of you and run.
True. Just a quick note, I am still on, like, not sure if I'm going to be still do monk, but yeah, that's
It's simple enough. I will grab you and run. If you're not a monk, if you're a monk, you can do that on your own. It's okay.
I mean, if a monk, they'll be going faster than any of us. So
Oh yeah.
it's very fun to just build a character for speed.
Gotta go fast.
Just
I am.
go
speed.
go fast.
Yep.
A couple of setting things to kind of be aware of. I do tend to run flanking as an optional rule. And that includes like the flanked condition, kind of a rule I've co-opted from 3.5, where if a creature is flanked, you don't have to be one of the flanking individuals, you just have to be attacking in melee.
Mm.
So, for example, let me pull some NPCs.
Like when you got, normal, like one person on one side and someone on the other, if someone comes on the side, they're technically getting the flanking advantage.
Yes. So, Mr. Samurai in red is currently flanked by green and blue. Orange, in standard rules, would not get the flanking bonus, but in this they would. However, if Orange was using a longbow, range doesn't get flanking. Similarly, if you were to flank the target from all sides, I would still consider that flanked, because that is much worse than one person on either side.
Mm-hmm.
This can happen to you as well, though, so beware.
Yeah, that's gonna make hordes a lot more deadly.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll try my best to not get completely destroyed and utterly killed.
Hey,
Positioning is key.
Just
Yep.
barbarian reckless attack. You'll already be flanked.
You are right. Just charge ahead and let things happen. It's okay. I will try.
there's a lot of my kind of settings discussion that's kind of already addressed in the rules changes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to cover a lot of that. There's a couple of things I still need to ask and bring up, though. My roles, do you want them to be public or private? Or kind of a mix where they're public if you can see what's happening, or private if it's hidden from you?
Like, it's more. I feel like it should be if it's something that would be visible, like someone shooting an arrow, we can see maybe the roll, but maybe not the bonus. But if someone is hiding from us, we don't see anything because we wouldn't notice.
Yeah, Roll20 doesn't let me hide the bonus. If you can see the roll, you can see the bonus.
Yeah.
I can roll either way. The one thing I'm usually aware of is if it's something that's happening outside of our knowledge, not just in game, but even outside of game, maybe we should not see them because it kind of spoils the surprise if there is a surprise.
Oh, if something is happening that you have no way of knowing of, you're not seeing the rolls. That is a spoiler, and that's just not fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But besides that, to be completely honest, I don't see a purpose in adding attack rolls for the for the enemies if we are fighting. Except maybe for the encounter is thematic. Maybe a duel, maybe some big NPC or something along those lines. Otherwise, I don't see any point to it. It's just mechanics.
Right. Then I'll go forward with the idea that if you can see what's happening, you can see the rolls. If you can't see what's happening, you can't.
Of course, I'm just saying, I mean, if Smash and Baka are okay with that too.
Mm-hmm. I'm completely fine with
RPG.
it.
Honestly, yeah, I'm cool with doing it that way.
That makes it easier on me because there's no room to fudge rolls in that case, which is good and bad.
You're okay with that, RP?
I'm totally fine with it.
Cool.
If I miss anybody saying stuff, that will probably be because I've thought I've heard their voice already, and that will probably happen for a few sessions until I really get used to everybody's voices. Sorry when that happens.
Death save's probably private then, for roleplay reasons.
You'd like to keep death saves private. Do you want to roll them still? Or do you want the DM to roll them?
I'd prefer.
I definitely prefer to
want-
roll them
I
personally.
want
Yeah.
to roll them. make them hidden, but I want to roll them.
Hey,
Harpy?
I want to kill myself.
I do agree about keeping the rolls private because that does make it a lot more.
Tense.
Personal.
Tense. Stressful.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because there's no way the party will know how close we are to death.
Mm-hmm.
Harpy, what about you?
I'm totally fine with it. Also.
Okay. Okay, a note, this will be a milestone setting, so level up will not be based on experience. You won't need to track that for your character level. You will need to be doing some experience tracking, however, for skills and proficiencies, but we'll go into that more during setting and during games, but it's fully explained in my handouts. Meta knowledge is entirely irrelevant because good luck being meta on this.
Sorry. I don't know why I laughed like that.
Consequence. Your actions will have consequences. There are laws. This is a lawful land. Some parts more, some parts less. And this is a slightly more real-to-life setting. A fireball will probably set fire to a wooden building.
Firebolt as well?
Firebolt might set fire to like a door frame or something, but you'll have a good amount of time to stop it spreading.
So basically this. I posted a meme. It's stupid. Don't mind it.
It's
fine.
a funny meme.
That's a good old classic.
Mhm.
But talking of consequences, how do you want to handle PvP, or do you not want to handle PvP?
Oof.
PvP,
Oof.
if justified, is for me. If, like, for example, there are two conflicts, and for example, one of the characters are trying to defend someone, but the other is trying to kill them, I would feel like PvP would be justified at that point.
On that note, I feel there should be a premise when it comes to characters in party conflict, which is, on my part at least, premise. If my character somehow disagrees or disagrees heavily, which is probably gonna be rare, I am not trying to be a dick. I am definitely not trying to be a dick to anyone, neither the GM, neither the party. It's something specific, and the GM probably knows about it because I would probably have written it down for him. So I'd rather think that we are all mature enough to not just get insulted out of that.
Yeah.
That's my kind of idea with all of that. Like, it's not just the rolling with the PvP, it's also the we're adults, we're playing a game. The stuff like that happens. Conflict happens. That's it.
Yeah,
Some characters just don't gel with each other. That as well with personalities or something.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely not seeking that with this character. I don't see it happening with him.
Neither mine.
But if it
Neither
would,
am
yeah,
I.
but if it would happen with the character, that's fine. I definitely don't hope to see it though. Just because.
Hmm.
But I will. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I'm not trying to become one of those edgy rogues that always tries to disagree. It's just if it's something that's reasonable in character.
Oh, 100%. I wasn't trying to say you were wrong. It's just that I think what's useful here is the premise that yeah, there could be conflict, but just a game. Who cares?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will, generally speaking, for PvP and stuff, operate as a kind of safety. If PvP seems to be on the horizon, I will kind of make sure that everybody is aware, and if they proceed, that PvP is going to happen. Give
Coco
people
is gonna have a safe word for PvP, basically.
Well, I'm going to give you. You'll have a chance to kind of disarm the situation, and
Got it.
a heads up to say, "Hey, this is going down.
Hmm.
Do you want it to? If yes, cool. Well, fine.
This character wants to challenge you to a duel.
Hmm. Do you
Okay.
accept or do you refuse? No, know this. You will probably die in either case. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Quick question about like realism.
Yes.
Would like, for example, a like a wound being festering or like being diseased wound, do you deal with that, or would simply a cure wound would heal or that?
I think he'll be getting into that since there is an injury system in here.
Oh, there.
Yes. There is. I'm going to open it for everybody now. Generally speaking, though, injuries will be common enough, but most can be healed by magical healing or are superficial scars, etc.
I see.
Should have probably also said this, but I'm not very good at talking that much. I'm very introverted and stuff.
Talk as much or as little as you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Again, I am aware that I may come off as too straightforward. So my one thing as a player, which I guess I should have mentioned, is I try to let people basically get the spotlight if they are the kind of player that is shy. So you are totally fine with it.
Okay.
Also, a thing that should probably be said is I don't know how everybody sounds like they are completely fluent in English, which is the language we're using, but I'm pretty sure English is a second language for three of us. So if it does come up that there is a misunderstanding, then please give people a chance to explain themselves, kind of rephrase what they're saying.
Which technically makes sense if you think about it, because we are a bunch of English-speaking people trying to speak broken English because we are supposedly Japanese. which means that Smash should learn to speak broken English. This is my rule.
English.
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 It is, yeah. Like, there's probably many words we don't know how to speak, but we could always just try to describe the word we're talking.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of particularly European people I've met who speak better English than about 90% of the English population is staggering.
Oh,
You know, I made a joke right now, but I can't confirm that considering what I studied.
Yeah, I can confirm.
Yeah, I'm confused, but yeah, you're right.
What were you saying, Smash? Or were you just laughing?
no, I just like, oh, that's a dig.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, if we're kind of on board with PvP, then I'm assuming people are comfortable enough with the idea that each player will probably have secrets. I suppose it's
Yeah.
probably essential in this setting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I will apologize. Secrets are going to be there.
I am all for player secrets. It's all part of the mystery, especially if that's what a character wants to do with them. A person wants to do with their character.
Makes sense.
Okay. Kind of moving a bit to mechanics a little bit. Does anybody have a problem with min-maxing?
No, I'm totally fine with it.
Mm-mm. I'm fine.
No, I know that's how people sometimes enjoy the game, so I don't have a big deal with that.
I'll be completely honest about it. I'm maybe I maybe exaggerate when I write backstories, and Coco may have had a bit of experience with that when I talk with him. And on the same note, I know some people may think of this as an exaggeration, but I enjoy building my characters to be strong. I don't think there's anything wrong in building characters correctly. So just putting that out there.
I like a mix. Like sometimes I would like to make a strong character. Sometimes I just want to make a thematic one.
Yeah.
I am aware, so just putting that premise out there. I don't consider myself a min-maxer mostly because I don't know enough about D&D, but I am not going to build characters just because they shouldn't be strong. I want my character to be at their best for what I'm going for. Just saying.
Mhm.
Yeah, like people make their characters how they like them. Like some people like having a lot of multi-classing to make it ridiculous builds. Others not. Some people just like to play characters.
Not on that level, but I guess that's a good example.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting or saying or suggesting that people do. I just wanted to know if people had issues with anything in particular. And it does make sense that if you've taken a combative or militant path, that your character has trained to be strong. That's kind of the whole purpose of training.
Okay, I'll put this in perspective. If RP is not punching a mountain, and Smash is not using a giant fireball to destroy half the continent, and Baka is not healing the entire continent in some shape or form, I am going to be disappointed with you.
I don't think
Cool.
I don't think Baka's going to be the pure healing type of cleric. Just a hunch.
Okay.
Yeah,
If
no.
if she doesn't smash the entire continent with the holy powers of the Kami, I'm going to be disappointed with you. There we go.
Okay, that's also a good thing to go ahead and know, actually.
Hmm?
About with the if Baka's not being like a dedicated healer, so not
I'm
not
probably
to be
going to be a balance
okay.
She's a cleric, right?
monk.
A monk. Okay.
Oh,
Cool.
you've got monk.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, we talked about monk. Spiritual
should we-
points,
we
key
should.
points, and such.
Should we get to party composition? Should we discuss that?
Yeah, I'm good to just change to anything. I'm still on the bridge.
I'm leaving it to Coco to decide what we should talk next.
We're kind of at this point through my kind of my session 0 ground stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of I suppose the last thing I need to ask is, does anybody have any fears, phobias, topics that they just don't want? Like, do you really hate spiders? Or are you
No.
like me and really, really hate hornets, but is still going to include giant hornets because
Reasons.
Nope.
As long as
Nope.
there's like no gifs of spiders just suddenly crawling out or something, I'm fine with anything.
I mean, in real life, I'm scared of. I have a phobia of all kinds of insects and spiders and such. But if I'm playing a game, they don't bother me. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's in real life that's the problem.
Yeah, IRL, I'm terribly scared of spiders, but
Yeah, and I getcha.
in character, or like if it's just being described, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
I mean, the only kind of spider I'm going to post probably is this one. So
Alright.
a couple of days ago I did have a visitor. I called him Greg, and I was worried that he was going to beat me up and throw me out the window instead of the other way around.
oh, cool.
We don't get big spiders in Britain very often, so when it was bigger than the glass that I used to throw him out, that was a problem.
Holy
Oh
shit.
shit!
The only spiders I've ever seen in my life were small ones, and I never bothered with them because I actually never killed one of them. I basically just grabbed them. They don't do anything to me, and I throw them out of the window, just not throwing them, but basically letting them just go because never big spiders, never seen.
Yeah, it's the small ones that scare me. In Norway we have a spider called just long legs that are just
I
No,
think I
just-
know about that one.
just
Jesus.
very long legs that are completely harmless.
Mhm.
But like the small ones that just move at Mach 5, those are the ones that scare me.
Well, I am basically fine with everything except for spiders if Harpy doesn't want to see them. Yeah.
Like I'm fine with them in D&D and stuff. That's totally fine.
Coco is going to throw a Girakumo at you, just so you know now that you said that.
I have no idea what it is, so I'm totally
It's a
fine.
giant demon spider. Welcome to hell.
Alright, so it's a giant enemy spider.
Alright. So, yeah, okay, if we want to move on to kind of talking characters and composition and stuff, I suppose before we do that, does anybody have any questions about the setting in particular?
Yeah, races. Is there like specifically some not allowed and stuff? Or
So, to kind of expand on what I kind of put into the ad, because I didn't go overboard with that, mechanically speaking, there are no limits on what you can play. However, because of the setting, if you wanted to play something quite exotic, like a lizardman or something, that's fine. But we'll probably need to adjust the lore behind that race or lineage to fit the setting because it isn't Forgotten Realms.
yeah,
As long as you're alright with that,
I
anything goes.
I was kind of expecting that, since I'm not really playing a traditional lizard folk. So
Mhm.
yeah,
As far as what that lore goes, that's not just on me, that will be on kind of between you and me to kind of go over what that becomes. But yeah, that's a thing for one-on-one, I suppose.
Yeah.
And the same goes to classes as well.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Not on my part. At least for the setting.
Yeah, no, I think I asked about everything when we talked before. I think I'm good on that.
For complete transparency, I've talked to Baka, Flavian, and Smash about this on 101, but Harpy's just joined us, so this was mostly an opening for you to raise any queries you had immediately.
Yeah, probably if I get any questions, I will just ask them in DMs.
There are a number of kind of handouts based on general setting stuff as well as mechanical stuff. There's a handout for religion, spiritualism, animism, costs. Kind of that is a general comment on the style of country and kind of natural resources. I do recommend you will go over those at least briefly. Most of them, like a fully reworked crafting to make it, 1, rewarding, 2, make sense. 5th edition didn't handle crafting well, I don't think. But you will not need to remember specifics about crafting. The handouts will always be there, and we can refer to them when crafting comes up. As far as crafting skills and like crafting levels go, tiers and levels, that'll be recorded on your sheet and again can be referenced. The only things you'll really need to kind of remember on a regular basis will be, remember to make use of your skills, particularly survival skills, but I will prompt that. Injuries will come up, weapon damage, armor damage, kind of equipment damage will come up regularly enough. And anything to do with your character. So on this, I'll kind of bring up one of the biggest changes, kind of tying into a more real-worldy setting. You will not really encounter magic items in this setting per se. To kind of fill in that niche, there will be a system called blessings, where spirits, kami, priests, particularly powerful individuals may grant you a boon, and this will usually be temporary. Some will, however, be permanent, and they will kind of take the place of attunement items. You can only have 1 permanent blessing.
Alright.
As far as the rest of things go, it's pretty much up to you how much you want to read or not of what I've put out.
What was that you said about attunement?
So in regular Dungeons and Dragons, you have magic items that require attunement, magic items that don't. In this setting, because we've got blessings, there are 2 kinds. Temporary blessings, which last a certain amount of time, and permanent blessings. You can only have 1 permanent blessing, like you can only have 3 attunement items. But in exchange, they are usually going to be just more potent.
Alright.
And there is a new stat. It is called Honor. You'll find it on your character sheets, and you will need to put a stat into it. Honor is pretty simple. It will kind of determine how well you can interact with people who share similar values to yourself. So if you're a samurai, it'll affect how you interact with other samurai, but not with peasants, because your values are different. And so on. It'll also impact your knowledge of codes of conduct, authority systems, etc. It will generally be a bonus to an existing check, rather than one all of its own. But sometimes it will be of its own. I've talked enough, however. Shall we briefly go over the characters we intend to play, beginning with Barker once again? Oh, actually, no, let's reverse this. Let's go with Smash first.
Okay.
Don't kind of cover anything that would be a character secret, just as a quick FYI. Just a basic rundown if you wanted to talk about party composition.
Okay. Well, let me pull up what I've got on him. But yeah, my character is Kishin Toshiaki. He is, like I said, he's gonna be a Asimar, the fallen Asimar, and a sorcerer. He's a typically pretty reserved person. Keeps himself he's not really for the spotlight. Usually keeps a quite bit to himself, but he's certainly not opposed to helping people. He's just not the exactly heroic type. If you get what I'm trying to say, he's not like going out to
Out of
to
its
be a
way, his
hero.
way to be a hero, yeah.
Yeah. As far as backstory goes, I'll simply say that he's a pretty like bog standard villager from a farming family, and for reasons that he probably will not have said yet, he is kind of not part of really any village anymore, kind of just a wanderer at this point, trying to find a purpose. Though he is looking into and learning more about the spirits. Again, for reasons that he probably has not disclosed.
Okay.
Makes sense.
And I say, as far as a sorcerer, he is going to be focused on spells. I do, for theming and for character purposes, he's mostly going to be themed around using both light and dark styled magic. Definitely focusing on like doing damage or area of effect, but do think maybe have some kind of buffing or healing effects on the side, just in case. And he does have his whole ASMR healing once per rest, so he'll have that. But I do not intend for him to be a primary healer, just kind of an off healer.
Got it.
I will say, Smash. I know you're intending to bring some spells along with your subclass.
Yes, and you did say that for starting, only use 5 of them for now.
Yes, please. Don't
Okay.
flood. But also,
Yeah.
I will be kind of making a document to give everybody access to what they are. So you kind of so everybody can see what is introduced to the setting. Although I would like to let you use them at least once each before showing the details. That's all right.
Guess it's my turn. I'm still not locked in, so I could probably change if party composition needs be, but who I'm maybe going to go for is Foley, a lizard folk monk. She used to live, well, she's living in the forest, surviving there. Not really good with other people, often taking words the wrong way, or generally she dislikes being out in the big cities or villages, feeling not that safe there, but she would, if need be, she could possibly just be a druid instead. Yeah, that's mostly it.
Cool.
Is it my turn?
Go ahead.
Well, I'm not going to disclose the name of my character because that stuff is still work in progress, but he's probably going to be either a fighter or a barbarian. Things may change, but it's mostly either one of those two classes. Probably. You wouldn't think that he's your typical samurai, but it does wield a sword and has a way with words, mostly in the charismatic sense than anything else. And he wields a pretty big sword, so that's kind of unique considering what samurais do, which go for a more finesse kind of weapon. And
Not a dai
think is-
katana then? Not a dai katana then?
Just a big katana. Your typical nodachi or odachi, depending on the side. But you could tell that he's definitely not samurai, more sort of a Ronin type character, even though he probably wouldn't call himself that. And he tends to smile, grin a lot, like to live life the way it is, even though there may be something more to that, but we'll see.
Joie
He's
de
probably
vivre?
gonna...
Joie de vivre? Or some, I don't know what the French phrase is for that.
Probably something along those lines, but we'll see. And he's probably going to be a mainline fighter trying to take the hits, but at the same time, he knows how to shoot a bow. So, we'll see.
Oh, well, that leaves me. I already mentioned I'm going to be playing Miko, which is a shrine maiden. It's going to be me and Coco are still working on the subclass, basically a monk subclass, so that I can have proficiency with bows and such. Her background is currently a work in progress. So I have a general idea what I want for her background, and me and Coco already talked about it as well. But I'm still building on it, so not much to say there.
Same here.
But yeah, most of her powers will be based on spiritual things. Key points are going to be spiritual points or such. But yeah, I'm gonna be basically always wearing the white and red shrine clothes. That's why I'm monk, so I can get unarmored defense. She recently completed her Miko training, so now she's on her pilgrimage of some sort. That's why she's out in the world and not protecting a specific village yet. Yes, she's kind of... She's still, I would guess, youngish, so she's not that mature and wise yet. She'll grow into it.
Makes sense.
That does give me a good opening to mention one thing. My only request as a DM in terms of backstory and your character is, for the sake of the prologue, please have some reason to be traveling and some reason to be potentially viewed as displaced or available for unsavory work.
Ooh, we already discussed that on my part, so we're fine.
Yeah. That is the initial plot hook. And to just kind of go over the idea of the prologue, I think I've mentioned this. I think I've gone over this with a couple of people, but I'll do it again. The prologue will be set before the main setting by a period of years. And it will be played at a different starting level. Now, anybody is welcome to bring a character to the prologue that they don't intend to play beyond that, but you're also fully welcome to bring the character you intend to play the whole way through. The prologue is kind of designed to introduce the setting, introduce the changes to combat that are being applied, and kind of make sure people are happy with all of that, but also to introduce the world and to get you guys more intimately involved with why the world and the country, the land, is the way it is at the time of the main setting. Kind of have you guys have a hand in that itself.
Mm-hmm.
So to that end, the initial hook is that each of you will have been approached. And you will have been approached by... It'll probably vary depending on who you are. If you are a wandering Ronin or warrior, you'll probably be approached by some back alley figure. If you are a wandering priest, you'd probably be approached by somebody a little bit more respectable, but still clearly nefarious, or at least doing something off the books. And you've been invited to a place called Shadow's Lodge. You've been given directions, but I'm not going to go into any more than that. And it is for grim work, for the sake of the land. And that's where I'll leave it until session 1 at least.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Mhm. For the sake of the land, sure.
Totally not suspicious.
Totally not just a heist.
We'll see about that.
I think a heist would be pretty tame compared to what I'm thinking.
You can expect the first session, or the prologue, to kind of... It will be a closed loop, but how you go about what has to be done
Mm-hmm.
is up to you. It could be an infiltration arc, it could be a suicide by samurai arc. Yeah, there will be suggestions coming from the NPC hiring you, but that NPC will be hiring you for your skills, not to tell you how to do things.
Mm-hmm. We are being hired for doing a job. A simple one, probably.
What level will we be playing our character as?
For the prologue, 5th.
Okay.
That should give you as a good enough preview of mechanical changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally fine with that. Guess we're gonna need. The party seems cool enough. Seems like what we lack on healing terms, we can probably compare in terms of just having a lot of people that can do damage and stuff.
I think I might try to maybe just look up to see if I can figure out a different type of character in case, but I'm going to try to just first see if I can just figure out something with Foley.
That's cool. You and I do need to have a one-on-one at some point between now and next week, maybe even after we wrap up session 0 if you're free.
Yeah, I'm free the entire day.
Cool. But we'll kind of hash things out there. But yeah, character-wise, mechanics-wise, setting-wise,
Mm-hmm.
any questions or anything like that from anybody?
Not really.
No, fine.
I'm good for now.
Yeah, no.
For creation itself,
Mm-hmm.
I have a character creation docket that I should have brought up for each of you. This will include 2 options for standard array. These are 7 scores, one of which will need to include honor.
There is one question, if you don't
Yes.
mind. Does honor work exactly like the other stats? Which means we have a set number, we can only raise it with, leveling up and stuff like that?
Honor will be a bit different. You can treat it like another stat,
Mm-hmm.
but you can also improve your honor through role-playing means.
Okay, because that is a thing that I need to, in terms of backstory, to know. Thank you.
It is not something that I've kind of got a fully written set of rules for. It'll kind of be handled on the fly and not be a normal thing that will happen like every 2 or 3 sessions, but it will be possible. It'll kind of be a thing for exemplary enactment of an honor code or something such.
I see. Okay. That was my one question.
I will say, kind of on the surface, honor will be the least potent of your stats. If you're like a barbarian, it might be more valuable than intelligence, but it might not. That being said,
I was just asking because, in terms of backstory, I am going to take honor the literal way you wrote it, so I might have it low for reasons. So just needed to know if it could be then raised or it just works like a normal stat. That's all I needed.
that's fine.
Oh yeah, multi-classing. That's okay.
Absolutely fine. I do ask for minimum stats as the book suggests, but the minimum is 13, which is not particularly high. On level up, you are welcome to roll your hit points if you like. If you get a 1, you can up that to a 2. But if you want to roll, then otherwise you got to take what you roll. Or you're welcome to take average.
Cool. I'll write that down real quick.
If you have ideas for feats, spells, things like that, you don't have to bring them up now. They can be brought up when they're appropriate. Look, kind of like when you would hit level 4 after the prologue, level 8, level 6 as a fighter, whatever. Open to that. If it's in theme with your character, then brilliant. Like, if you've developed a particular sword style or something like that. I do have a couple of new feats and feat changes, but there's not that many.
Quick question about that. I am not able to read the feat changes one. It's just a blank screen.
That is because I'm an idiot and I have them all on GM layer.
Oh. Yeah, I was wondering, feat changes. Okay, there it is.
There.
I think most of them are the same as I have in my house rules on Discord, although there is a general one at the bottom.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think I have any other questions in regards to character making.
I have a question. Yes.
Oh, yeah. No, go ahead.
I have a question for myself, which is, have I done this idiocy with any other things? Doesn't look like it.
My one question was, in terms of rather than character stuff in combat, character utility, I think I could mention that my character may help with maintaining weapons. Just saying.
Good thing to bring up. This will be part of your backgrounds, but because, well, each of you will kind of have a background story, but also mechanically suited to your character. Now, unlike Forgotten Realms, there aren't like 50 languages. There's maybe 6 total throughout the entire land, and most of them are not ones you would know unless you are in a very specific kind of priestly organization. So backgrounds won't give languages. Instead, you'll generally get 2 skills and 2 tool sets. One of which being a hobby or profession, the other being a survival skill or kind of, survival skill. The intent here is to kind of give the group a balance in what everybody can do, and hopefully mean you don't starve in the wilderness.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Maybe we will. Maybe not. We'll see.
That's
I
it.
do-
Hobby and professional. Hobby and professional.
Mhm.
Sorry, go ahead.
I do want to mention that I think my character will have some expertise with that too, for survival stuff in case it's needed. It's the kind of guy that has survived alone for a bit, so he'll probably have stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is probably a good time to bring up scale as well. So I mentioned in the ad, I've mentioned it a couple of times,
Mm-hmm.
that you guys are free to kind of go and do what you want. To kind of put it another way, that this is a sandbox. There is a kind of underlying series of things that will be going on, a main story or whatever you want to call it. However much or however little you want to interact with that is up to you. Every named settlement is written with things to do, people to meet. I haven't done that for every individual mountain, but yeah. That being said, this is a pretty large place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh well, yeah, I didn't think I took a look at that before.
It is scaled, despite being continental rather than Icelandic. It is scaled roughly to have the same land mass as real world Japan.
Oof, then it's pretty big. And it doesn't
I'm
seem like it.
excited.
I am excited as well.
So yeah, it will be plenty possible to get lost.
Let's go.
However, it is a very settled land, and maps are readily enough available that at least knowing the general locations of towns, castle towns, and cities, which are the named settlements on the map, is entirely reasonable. So I'm not going to hide those from you.
Mm-hmm.
What lies in between those, the locations of smaller villages and other such things you wouldn't necessarily find on a map, that's for you to find out.
Mm-hmm. I'll keep that in mind. Actually, I'm gonna write that down. Okay. I'm still good.
So we shouldn't assume that we already have maps by the time we're starting, or do we need to get those?
You can assume that you've seen maps and have a general idea. Actually, owning a map will help any navigation checks you need to make, because a map is better than memory.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'd imagine if you've travelled at all, your character will have seen a map if they're literate.
Time to make an illiterate character.
Cool.
You joke about it, but it's possible.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Quick question. Like curses and stuff, they exist, yeah.
Curses definitely exist. Curse magic exists. Dark magic exists. Necromancy is basically witchcraft.
Yeah.
So let's just say this way. Being a sorcerer does not make you the most popular of people. But I believe we've already discussed that, Smash, a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You magic man. Who are you? Destroying my crops with your magic.
Hmm,
I've never even seen your crops before.
sure.
Doesn't matter, you can see them anyway because you are magical and stuff. Gotta love discrimination.
That is fair. Some of my spells most definitely probably will be necromancy. So,
Ooh, nice.
heads up.
Okay, so we are not gonna be on friendly terms from the beginning.
He's gonna tie you into those blessed beads all the time and just drag you around in blessed beads.
Unless I do it to him first and just say Oswari all the time.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't catch the reference, Kagame used some sacred beads to put them
Yeah,
around
that's what I was
Inuyasha's
talking
neck.
about.
Yeah.
That's what I was
And
talking
when she
about.
said Oswari,
I
he was bashed into the floor.
Oh, I do know that, at least.
I don't.
That's why I explained.
Yeah.
So basically, it was used for comedic stuff, or to stop him from being an idiot or something when he was being an idiot, mostly. And she abused it. Let's be honest here. She abused it too much.
Yeah.
All right.
Is there... my last question would be, in regards to the prologue, is there anything you wanted from us as players without, having the characters ready and stuff?
Have the characters ready, have a reason to have been recruited into a nefarious deed.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you kind of buy into the idea of it's for the sake of the land kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course.
Otherwise, not really.
Cool. And I can't wait to play and see where this goes.
Okay. Kind of before we start to kind of move towards wrapping up session 0
Mm-hmm.
and kind of the introduction session.
Yes.
Does anybody have anything to cover? General point now.
Have anything else?
Not really.
Yeah. Can't
Yeah,
think
I
of
don't
anything at
so.
the moment.
Most stuff is just things I need to worry about in regards to the backstory, but no, in general terms, no, I haven't got anything on. I'm good.
Okay. And then does anybody have any private character questions they want to kind of get dragged into a Whispers chat for a moment?
I'd say maybe let Harpy have a one-on-one with you since she's the one we missed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Harpy.
Yeah.
Do you want to go straight into a one-on-one, or do you want to get a coffee or whatever first?
I'm able to do it right now.
Cool. Well, folks, it will be a very much shorter session than from next week, as we've been here about an hour and 3/4. But that's
happens.
That's session 0.
Mm-hmm. We can just chat as we needed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if there's anything else people want to ask me and vice versa, I'm available.
One request. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll probably just start making my character. She just second level monk until we get the subclass going.
About to mention that. For those of you, well, for everybody actually, except Harpy, who I'm about to do one-on-one. If you have ideas for your subclass, particularly your level 1 or level 3 stuff, because that's going to be the only features used during the prologue, would you please kind of put them in our one-on-one chat? I need to open that for Harpy.
I think we've hashed out everything with my subclass, so I think I'm good with on that. I just need to come up with an actual name for it.
That would be good.
Yeah, I still need to come up with stuff for the subclass. I'll try to come up with something.
Harpy, I've kind of given you a private channel in the Discord under Spirit Saturday. I tend to use this for recording stuff between you and me. But you can use it to spam whatever, pretty much.
Alright.
Alright then, if everybody's good, I'm going to drag Harpy into Whispers. And if
Okay.
anybody's still here when I come back, great. If you're not, have a brilliant week. And I'll see you next Saturday.
Same to you.
All right.
Just the challenge begins. Need to develop the class. Yay.
Yay. I mean, I
I'm
have
still-
some idea about it, but we're still working on it.
I have some ideas too. I just need to figure out how that would fit in the backstory.
Mm.
Because I don't want to go too overboard with it. I'm just trying to see which would fit.
I need to find the macro for the roll for stat to see if I'm keeping that as a boon, if we're having a boon or not.
What are you rolling for?
Stats like charisma stuff.
Oh, you're rolling for stats?
I mean, I'm gonna try, but if it's not good, I'm probably gonna take the standard array.
I should have actually asked Coco how that works because I see standard array, but I don't know if we can roll for stats.
Baseline character in the character creation general stuff in the text channels up there. You can see the baseline character creation stuff. Like, I'm gonna roll just to see what I roll for stats. If it's not good, I'm probably gonna choose a boon. Like maybe get a feat or something like that, or an uncommon magic item. I mean, there's no magic item, never mind, ignore that.
Makes sense.
Or maximum hit points until level 5 or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just need to remember what the macro is for this.
You need to roll 7 because we have honor too.
Oh yeah, We just do. What's the macro for this again? Sorry.
The macro for rolling stats, I can't remember. Let me check.
I mean, I do have the roll 46 drop lowest in my character sheet, character manager, but we're kind of using a different one. I think. I don't know.
Which one?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to remember because I think we're using a different one. I'm gonna.
I mean, you can just ask him when he gets back.
I mean, if the manual roll picture that I posted before would work, I would totally take that because I rolled an 18 and a 17.
Yeah, that's good. Please keep those. We need all the help we can get.
Yeah, but they don't count. So
Mm-hmm.
let's see. No, I'm definitely not keeping them.
Nope.
I am definitely going for standard array.
Standard array, please.
And let me check that. I can do 16, 16 or something. 17, 16, 14, 12.
This one, this one. Okay. This one.
I'm gonna leave my background for later.
Yeah, you can just customize that from what he said to me, so
I am going to add a weapon, like a longbow for that.
yeah, you can have one of those.
Yeah. No, I can't longbow. It's not allowing me to put a longbow in for some reason. I don't know. Wait, proficiency. I'm already proficient in it. Never mind. I'm just gonna add it in the inventory.
I'll have a longbow as well, mostly because I think we need that to make sure we don't just jump into the midst of battle and then die immediately. Having a bow certainly helps.
I mean, as a Miko Shrine Maiden, I'm going to be using a bow a lot. All the time, basically. And probably have a short sword, or what is it? A Kodachi? I think it's a short sword.
Yeah, it's the Kodachi or a Wakizashi, depends on which one. I probably just will alternate between the Great Sword and the Longbow. The Great Sword is just a Nodachi, basically. It's a giant slab of iron. What is that? Okay, I think I'm gonna be done for now, so I'll probably finish this later. I'm gonna have to go in a bit, so I'll see you next time.
See you.